With TheAction, they just, a lot of the time, wipe the floor with the original version, even though, sacrilegious as it is to say, I mean, some of these Motown songs were obviously most of them were classics, but they arranged it in such a way that it sounded completely fresh. There was such an energy on the stage. Someone said, oh, they're making an album. And I thought, thank God, I'm going to get all these songs in one place. And then years went by and the record never came out. I had all the singles, but the record never came out. I signed to Virgin in 1978, 1979, and there's a guy called Al Clark who was the press officer. He knew, we talked about music and stuff, and I told him that TheAction was one of my favourite bands ever, alongside the Beatles. And one day I came out of the house in Guildford where I lived, got to the car, and there, on the bonnet of the car, was this record. As if some fairy godmother had delivered it in the night. It was so extraordinary. And he had found this record, which was then out, on Rhino or Charlie Records or whatever. And he'd driven down and plonked it on my car bonnet so that in the morning when I got up, it was there.
There's an old vacant apartment above the shop on the square. Something keeps bringing me back to those final moments we shared. Through that glass the reflections cast their glow on the door. Empty shadows of night on the floor.
My favourite song, full stop, is Shadows and Reflections, because not only is it just sends you somewhere when you listen to it, but I have memories of, buying albums when I was about 11 or 12 by this band I'd never heard before. The only reason I bought it is because it's got a review on the back by Paul Weller, and he's carrying on about his influences and saying obviously he hadn't heard this band, TheAction, live, but listening to the record it was just something else. And I played it, and yeah, it was, and even as a kid when I should have been listening to, I don't know, bloody Wham or something like that, I thought, no, I can't be doing with that. And then I played this, and it just blew me away.
Shadows and reflections follow me around. Shadows and reflections of a love that brought me down. Just these neon reflections cast their frightening glow, drifting patterns and shadows below. Oh, shadows, shadows and shadows and reflections always have to remind me of shadows and reflections of another kind of love.
A song is a picture. You start it, you lay it out, and then you build on what you have, and you climax in every song, in other words. And so what you need to do is paint a picture and build a climax towards the end of the song. And that's the end, boom, and it takes the audience up.